but you better be sure that you thought it through, 'cause the last thing you'll ever see is me standing.
Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am still doing my 31 days of horror movie reviews and the Tremors franchise. This time, we're at Tremors 5! I know, I can't believe I've lasted this long. This came out in 2015, some 10 years after the fourth one. It is directed by Don Michael Paul. And the plot is we pick back up with Burt Gummer, once again played by Michael Gross. It's nice to see him back to form, true to form, and he's almost recording this survivalist video of himself, of these creatures. He's warning people, trying to, of these giant worm creatures and what they can do and how you can survive. And he gets partnered up with Jamie Kennedy. I know, Jamie Kennedy, who I guess is here to help him expand his followers. He specifically mentions Twitter followers, which I thought, wow, we're at the point in the Tremors franchise where that's important. Twitter followers. But just then they both get recruited by some guy from some agency in South Africa who's telling them that, hey, in South Africa, these giant creatures have made it out there, if you can believe that. So they recruit them to go over there and handle their business, take care of business, kill these fuckers once again. Now, what I think of Tremors 5 Bloodlines, I don't think I mentioned that, Bloodlines, is it's surprisingly not bad. And I feel like I must be descending into a state of madness. The fact that we're at 5 Tremors movies and I have not ranted on one of them. How is it possible that this series, this franchise that I'm just now watching for the first time, that I'm just growing to come accustomed to, is this at least solid in quality? That they haven't veered off course, or they haven't done anything disrespectful yet. For example, bringing back Michael Gross, keeping him as Burt, that's the best thing about these direct-to-DVD sequels. There are direct-to-DVD sequels, but yet because the first Tremors stayed low budget, or low budget enough to where they can do what they had to do with the creatures and the kills and all that, but still have fun, still have likable characters, the fact that they've pretty much been able to maintain that throughout the series, that's why they don't feel super low budget compared to the Hellraiser franchise or the Wrong Turn franchises, the Leprechaun movies. So many of these horror franchises that have all either gone to shit or have been shit since day one. So again, kudos. Even bringing Jamie Kennedy into this film, you would think I would laugh or I would roll my eyes. Hell, just when I saw him on the cover, I thought, what is this going to be? But they even make him like this BMX extreme stunt guy, and it goes, ugh. It sounds dumb. I know I like Jamie Kennedy as Randy from Scream, but that's that particular series. I've never really grown to follow him in anything else. I don't really think he's been all that great in everything else that he's been in. But this movie, he was decent. He was passable. He was serviceable. He was likable enough to where I was not annoyed of him, to where I bought him as the sidekick to Burt. They didn't treat him as any more than that. He was the sidekick. He was the guy holding the camera for him, going out to Africa and doing what they had to do. He even had this very, very minor side plot. It did not dominate the story at all. He showed some interest in this African girl, Nayala, played by Pearl Thusi, an actress that I'm not familiar with, but she's very attractive, and it was nice to see one of the leads be attracted to an African woman. Hey, there's a first for a horror movie, or at least one that I can think of right off the top of my head. I'm sure people will correct me in the comments below. There was another actress, Lucia, played by Natalie Becker, somebody who, when I looked her up, I was curious who she was, because she was, she wasn't too hard on the eyes. I looked her up, and apparently she has been in a bunch of these direct-to-DVD sequels of movies that no one really asked for. The Scorpion King sequels, the Death Race sequels. Again, movies that nobody asked for. This actress has made a career off of being in almost all of them, but she was in a very small part here. She died quick, is what I'm trying to say. Some of the other characters, you don't really care about them, honestly. I like some of the African people that they interacted with, because you saw they even pulled a prank on Jamie Kennedy, getting him to eat worms, saying it's tradition, or they were just being normal people. They didn't make them over the top. They didn't make them even angry people who, no, they were just people who had to be saved. And that could be a problem where you have two white guys come into Africa and save these African people from these monsters. But because the Nayala character, she had her own hero moments, action moments. She had a daughter that she was protecting. She got some cool badass moments, especially towards the end. Because the other people in the tribe was also helping them set up traps and try to kill one of the big giant monsters that they now have given a name. It's called Graboids, which I've never heard them say that beforehand, unless I missed it. Was this the first movie where they actually gave them a name? Let me know in the comments below if you guys have been following along. Since they did involve the other people in the tribe, since they did involve some of the other characters, it wasn't just purely our two male white leads being the saviors. I didn't have too much of a problem, too much of an issue with that. The creature, since I did mention it, I want to mention how impressed I was with the effects of them. There was some practical effects. There was effects that I thought, wow, that looks really good. Whatever the budget was, it was impressive. There was some CGI. The smaller creatures with wings, they introduced smaller creatures with wings in the third movie, but this time they look different. They changed the look. They have these weird mouths and face that look really creepy. I actually don't mind the change because they look creepier this time around. And they called them ass blasters, which I know is very silly, and some people probably found it silly, but I just kind of thought it was too silly. It didn't bother me to the point where I was angry, because the creatures themselves looked scary and creepy and did some vicious kills. There was a couple scenes of them literally blasting fire out of their ass when they flew around. I was like, this is so dumb, but it was very short, very quick, just out of the way. They didn't spend too much time on it, so it was fine. And there was a lot of action. There was a lot of moments of them having to fight off these creatures, especially the big giant ones. The reason why this is called Bloodlines is because they find out that these creatures have been ingesting some chemicals that have essentially made them on steroids, so that they're extreme versions. They're faster, they're meaner, they're aggressive. The big giant worms that were predominant in the first movie, you see them literally jumping out of the ground and eating people whole and going back into the ground. That's how fast they are. That's how quick they are. It doesn't even matter if you sit still. They'll somehow find you. It made them more dangerous, more unpredictable. So trust me, I can't believe that I am saying good things, for the most part, good things about Tremors 5. The fact that these movies continue to do something different or continue to keep me engaged and keep me interested. I must be going mad. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of not only Tremors 5, Bloodlines? Did you like it as well, especially because it was so many years later? Or this whole series, what do you think? Is Tremors one of the sleeper, underrated, underappreciated horror franchises of all time? Maybe. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Swimming in beers, I've been through it all, let me trickle a tear. In case you didn't know, I was living sarcastic. A motherfucking monster, something Jurassic. Had to wrap the whole entire bed in plastic. Slumped bitch dance when she fucking with raptors. Killing and adrenaline, and I'm sipping on the 4-0. Listen by a whole entire motherfucking torso. Oh, what a rush, sniffing some more blow. Let the bitch bleed and I'm making a porno. I'ma keep it going a few times before I pass out. Wake up in the morning, realize I blacked out.